Welcome to Chaos and Recovery. Today is a very special episode. We have CJ here, a returning guest. He's an OG. And the interviewee today is our host, Steve. Today he's celebrating his 1-year anniversary.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, yes, anytime. This is a big deal. I'm extremely proud of you and really grateful to see you today. Not going to get emotional, but
10 seconds in.
Yeah, so. 10 seconds in. It's just a beautiful day. And it's not the most important day for you, but every day is.
Yes.
And this is just a milestone. And for me, it really reminds me of your strength and resilience, and brings me back to your just being human. And for me, the reflection is all that you must have gone through this year to be in this position today, and so proud of you.
Yeah.
And the fears on my end, they are constant and every day, but you've continued to prove the willingness and loyalty to yourself and your family and your life and your existence. And today really signifies that. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, thanks. I went to my first 12-step meeting 17 years ago. And in 17 years, I've never had close to a year. And this is something that while using, I would stay up at night by myself, depressed about everything in my life, and be crying, thinking about this day. Thinking about the emotions that, one, I would have, but two, the emotions that my family would have. Seeing me up there, getting my chip, the reactions afterwards. This is something I knew was going to happen. But to get here was a long, painful journey, filled with rehab, detoxes, jail, not talking to my children, not talking to my family, not being allowed at Christmas, like stuff like that.
Wow.
And to have 365 days of recovery along with sobriety, I couldn't have done it without going through all that pain. This year, honestly, has been the easiest year for me.
Wow.
Because I finally convinced myself I need recovery and not convinced myself that I need to use.
Yes.
Because I love using. I have fun while using. I enjoy being high. I feel blocked out from the world while on drugs and alcohol. But it destroys my life and everybody around me. And to get to a point of being convinced that I want to be in recovery wasn't something I made a decision like, okay, now I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Something clicked in me, aha moments, higher power, a lot of help from friends, family, some of the greatest counselors I've ever met in my life. It's a culmination of so many things. My sponsor, who has been so fucking pivotal for me. It's freeing to know that I don't have to do this by myself. And I tried to control everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Why'd you choose to have this setting for today and have CJ back on?
So I think for me, when me and Taylor first discussed about designing this podcast, we had gone over who we want to have on and stuff like that. And one of the most important people that was in the outpatient program for so many different reasons was CJ. His honesty, his vulnerability, his desire to find recovery and growth, how much pain he had inside. Like, I saw it from day one. And I remember one of the first meetings you were at, you were talking about your father, and I don't remember exactly what I said to you, but it was pretty harsh about your father.
About my relationship with him, yeah.
About your relationship with your father. Because I'm a pretty blunt guy when it comes to, like, being in meetings.
Yeah.
Because I know I need blunt.
Yeah.
So I was pretty blunt to you.
Yeah.
And his first reaction wasn't defensiveness. His first reaction was, like, listening, understanding, and trying to hear me.
Yeah.
And right then I knew I was going to see you for a while.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to be around for a while. I enjoy your recovery. I enjoy the stuff you've been through and came out on the other side. We'll get to that in a couple weeks when he comes on to share his update story, which is pretty amazing. But I wanted this dynamic because I think it's important. I come on here every week and I interview people, me and Jess. I think it's important for people to also hear where I've been, what I've been doing, because I can share snippets during our episodes, but if the listeners don't know who's interviewing and what they've been through, I think it's kind of hard to relate. So, I mean, I couldn't imagine a better duo to do it with than the both of you.
Well, it's funny because, hearing your story through this last year, there's some questions I still have about your story because I haven't heard all of it. You know what I mean? So those are the ones that are in my mind. I think the first one, one thing I like to do with my life, especially as I come to a year, is juxtapose last year, this date, to this year.
Yeah.
So I would like just to ask you, what did January 3rd, 2025 look like for you?
Okay. So, I mean, I've been in an IOP because I was in drug court for the last almost 2 years. And last year I had gotten about 9 or 10 months and relapsed. I had actually, they had asked me to come in and speak to a group at the IOP, and I had relapsed that weekend. Wow. I was up for 3 days straight. I came in that Monday, spoke at the group.
Wow.
Personally, I thought I did a fucking amazing job. And other people that were in the class also said so.
Yeah.
For me, meth, there were points while using where I was functional.
Yeah.
And I was coherent, and I thought
You had like a sweet spot?
I was very very intelligent. I could talk very well.
Yeah.
It was when I was strung out is when you could really see my use.
Okay.
So I went in there, I spoke. I thought I did a great job. Everybody's coming up to me afterwards saying, thank you for coming, blah, blah, blah. I went out to my van afterwards. I got in the van, and I broke down. I started bawling my eyes out. I had manipulated. I had lied.
Yeah.
I had earned the trust of this program for them to ask me to come in and speak to the newcomers. And I had ruined that trust, even though they didn't know I was using.
Yeah.
I went in the next day. I had talked to my counselor. I said, listen, I used this weekend. He was like, you came in and spoke to everybody and you were high? I said, yeah, I smoked right before.
Wow.
And so he said, well, I appreciate you coming in and talking to me. You know? And so he bumped me down a couple levels, and we went on from there. I went on 2 months sober. I relapsed again.
Okay.
This was maybe a day or two before New Year's. New Year's, I went to Twin River, blew all my money, used the business credit card, rang up a bill on the business credit card, did all the dirt, left there, went home. The next day, January 2nd, I used a business credit card again at a liquor store to get a bottle or something. Got drunk that day, got high that day, and then January 3rd is kind of a blur to me. I know I had spoken with my partner now, Mariah, told her what I did, told her what was happening somewhat, she was like, and at this point, I was living in an apartment by myself. She was like, well, come back and live with me. I went back the next day on January 4th, told Ocean State what happened again. And they dropped me. Oh, sorry. We'll cut that out. I went back to 5 days a week, all day for a couple more months.
Okay.
And I can't say I was at like my low, but something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened. Jess brought up resilience. The last 2 years, especially, I have used a handful of times. 95% of the time, maybe more, I've been sober. I've been working my ass off at getting here. And why I relapsed, it's because I just wanted to use. Nothing happened. I just miss smoking meth.
Yeah.
I miss the feeling. I miss feeling that way. I don't have an explanation of emotions or anything like that. I just like the feeling.
Yeah. You know, that kind of like leads me to like a question I had for you. You said you've never gotten this much time. Was there like a moment in this last year where you kind of were like stopped and were like, this time could be different, or this time is different? Was there really an aha moment? It was just a moment where you were
100%. There was so I was living at Mariah's apartment with my daughter. Things were going terrible between us. I was in early recovery. My new counselor was telling me I got to do X, Y, and Z. Our communication was terrible. You know, you're trying to fix the relationship with the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, nobody in early recovery should be in a relationship. You know, but because you can't work on just you if you're in a relationship. You're trying to work on you. You're trying to work on your kids. You're trying to work on your relationship.
Overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. I had to make the very hard decision to leave because it was so toxic. I was toxic, and I'm not going to say anything about her or how she was, but it just wasn't working for us. The us wasn't there, and I made the very hard decision to go back into a sober house. I called the sober house that I've been at so many times. I called the owner. I said, listen, this is what's going on. I need a spot. He's like, Steve, you're welcome here anytime. So I got a bed that day, went there. It was that day my roommate was gone for the weekend. And I was about maybe 3 weeks, a month sober. And I was like, this is amazing. My roommate isn't there. I can use.
Yeah.
I can sit in here all weekend and use and then go back to the IOP. Nobody's going to know.
Yep.
And I'll figure out how to fake the piss test when I get there.
Yep.
But I'm worried about using. So I messaged this person that I got my stuff from, and she's like, yeah, be right there. We'll go for a ride. She didn't know I was in recovery. She has also been in recovery before.
Okay.
So she said, I'll be there in about 20, 25 minutes. I was paid. So I've done this before in relapse, where I messaged somebody, they were coming to pick me up so I could go use. And the thought of, if I just call them back and tell them don't come, I can stay sober.
Wow.
I have this choice. So I'm pacing my sober house room. I mean, punching walls. Like, just, I'm yelling at myself, fucking do it. Message them. Tell them they're coming. Tell them they can't come. Tell them you're in recovery. Tell them to leave you alone. Tell them to never message you again. And you can stay sober. You can do this. It took me 20 minutes, so many times, picking up the call, dialing it, ringtone, answer, cancel.
Yep.
Just let her come.
Yep.
Let her come. It's just one night. It's just one night. It's just one night, and then you can start your recovery again. Don't worry about it. Finally, I made the call, and I told her, look, I'm a month sober. I need to stay sober. Well, at first I was like, where are you? She's like, I'm about to turn on your street. I said, I can't come out. I'm a month sober. She's like, I'm so proud that you called me. Like,
wow.
Thank you. Because I would have felt like shit if I would have found out afterwards. And after I did that, and Erin played a big part of why I did that, because she was supposed to pick me up that night and we were supposed to go bowling. A bunch of us. And I was like, how am I going to be high with all these people from my IOP?
Yes.
And fake this.
Yeah.
And that thought ran through my head. And after I made that call, recovery was like a breeze for me. I had made the decision, convinced myself that I need to stay sober, that I want to stay sober, and that I can stay sober. So that call changed my entire life.
It's like your fork in the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, what you just said reminded me of that Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken. So one of the things I was thinking about this is that, you know, it talks about how one of the roads has been well traveled. You know, that's where everybody goes. And then there's one less traveled where not many people go. But I was thinking about more when you were just saying that. You didn't go the road that you usually travel, and you went down a road that you never have before, where you actually made the choice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a great story.
And it's funny because we're comfortable in the road that we've always traveled.
Yes.
Until we make the decision to take that other road and trust that decision, even though it's comfortable, it's so painful.
Yeah.
And then that new road, we can phrase it as it's going to be hard. But if you're convinced and trusting in that process and your commitment to that, honestly, it was a fucking breeze for me.
Well, what an esteemable act for yourself. Like, what a moment of pivotal trust to like, that must have been a huge moment. I can trust myself here. I can.
And I've never trusted myself.
Yeah.
I never trusted who I was.
How proud you must have been after that moment.
100%. I was. Wow. I laid down in my bed. I was just like, Jesus Christ, why haven't I done this before? Like, this is...
Like, the moment, it's kind of like sitting with the... I mean, I can't imagine in that in that realm, in that aspect, but like sitting with things of my own nature, you know, like making a decision, you know, do I need to, I gotta do this thing that I know I shouldn't do right now, whatever it is, I don't need to do that for my health. And yeah, it's just such a hard pivotal moment where it's like, I know the healthy decision I want to make for myself. I know what I already told myself. What we're talking about, I said I was getting up for to go to the gym. You know, like we talk ourselves. It's just this inner battle. And it's like, if you just can sit with that battle for a minute, like it does pass. It's sitting with an emotion as well. You know, it's so hard. I just had this conversation about emotions and like how much I feel so deeply about so much stuff that when those emotions come up, it takes over me completely. And to allow that emotion or that pain to sit in you without doing, you know, sorry, I'm rambling and having a tough time talking, but I had a couple days ago where I was so absolutely emotional and depressed and sad, and it was like painful in my system. And immediately I even went to like such a healthy thought pattern of like, okay, if I do this healthy thing, I'm going to feel better. If I do this, and it just kind of control it. Like, maybe I should journal right now. Maybe I should sit and meditate. Maybe I should breathe. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do this. Go do something for yourself. Go out, get a walk, blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, I need to do nothing about this. I need to sit here and feel this pain. And I literally just sat and was like, this is the worst feeling. And I don't want to make any decision. You know what I mean? And then myself, it's just like a block of like, you know, what's right, what's wrong. And sometimes it's just like that moment can be there and then it can go away too. You know what I mean?
When you're in it, you never know. Believe it's going to go away.
It's like that control.
This is never, even though you have a whole bunch of like evidence from past pain that it will go away, but in the moment, it's hard to believe that it's going to go.
Well, I think there's an ideology of obsession once you get wrapped up into those emotions where you can't see logic. You can only see through the lenses of emotion and selfishness and victimizing. Like I need to sit in here because I'm not trusting of myself or the process or where it's going to lead me afterwards. And I think for so many years, me not trusting the process and fighting everything. Fighting sober house living, fighting not seeing my children, fighting getting into arguments that I shouldn't be getting into arguments about, fighting not going to meetings, all of these things. And I go back to this word, convince. Once I'm convinced of this process, everything is easy. I don't care that I'm in a sober house because I'm trusting of the process that I will be out in the day. And in our literature, it says sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. I hated that fucking slowly word because I need everything instant gratification.
Yep.
That's the best thing drugs and alcohol did for me,
Yes.
was give me instant gratification. And I wasn't a patient person, and I wasn't trusting of a process. And so doing the slow thing, letting things come to you in time, was not in my vocabulary, and because I was not trusting the process. It's fucking that simple. It's a simple process program for fucking complicated people.
Yeah. Well, they say simple but not easy. You know?
Yeah.
So, you've talked to me, you've talked on here too about, going to different treatments, fighting this fight for a long time. Have you thought about what would take you out this time? What that would look like? You know what I mean? Like, what would a relapse look like now with where you're at? You know what I mean? Like, especially that decision you just told me you made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What would it look like now?
So the second time I thought about using was when my grandfather was dying. I was a month and a half, months sober or something like that. And I was sitting next to his deathbed at home, and I was just like, he's going to die any day, if not tomorrow morning. And I was just like, I can relapse right now, and I'll get a free pass. It's like a hall pass. Somebody passes, yeah. Okay.
Everybody will understand.
We understand.
Yeah.
And I'm a manipulator at heart when it comes to drugs and alcohol. When drugs and alcohol infect my brain to the point of obsession, manipulation and lies are my best tool. They are my biggest supporter. And so I sat there and thought about it, talked about it, and I called my sponsor. Another thing I never, ever did. When I think about using, I called him. And so I got through the next morning I found my grandfather dead. 6 weeks later, my grandmother passed. And I was still trusting of the process. I didn't even get that emotional when they passed because I was in such a great place emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because of what I was doing for my recovery. I was going to meetings every day, talking to my sponsor, going to IOP. But something happened in my life where I didn't have to be low anymore. I didn't have to use a death to feel depressed. I didn't have to, and I also didn't have to be high anymore. And that was my norm. I'm either high or low.
Yeah.
And so I was in such an amazing place, and have been the last year, that two of the most important people in my life passed, and I was okay. Granted, it was a slow death. We saw it coming. I lived with them for a couple years before, and I seen the decline. So I was prepared for their death. Yeah. But I was also in such an amazing place that their death was okay for me. So when you bring up what does a relapse look like now, I don't see what it looks like. I can't imagine it. The only thing that really pops up, if one of my children die, it would be tough, but it wouldn't be impossible. I have such, and I talked about it this morning, a healthy fear of destroying my life again that I'm okay with losing somebody and making it through.
Wow.
And so there's nothing besides losing somebody that I could push myself to the point of relapse. But even I've proven it to myself with my grandparents passing and being okay with it. I've proven it to myself that I don't have to use because somebody moved on.
Well, what I hear when you say
Even
it,
if it's my children.
Like just acceptance.
Sure.
And yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be able to process what you're going through without that use, you know.
And I was a month and a half sober, but my recovery, I've been in recovery for fucking a long time. Not consistently, but I've been at that IOP for 7 different times. I've been in probably 1,000 groups.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I have a very good understanding of how to be sober. This year has given me a great understanding of how to stay sober.
Awesome.
It's great.
You were just you were talking about your kids, and then you were talking about when you kind of challenged me on my dad. Something I was thinking about this morning. You and I have talked about we're both people pleasers, both always thinking about what other people are thinking about us. I was thinking about how we kind of do things differently, though, even though we have that same thing.
Sure.
I was wondering, so me, I'm more likely to put someone at ease in a situation, and you're more likely to challenge them. How does sometimes you can be abrasive.
Yeah.
How do those two things coexist for you? Where you're a people pleaser, and here's the thing: you're always effective when you challenge. You're not just being a dick.
Yeah.
So how do those two things coexist for you?
I think I used to put people at ease for a manipulation tactic while using.
Gotcha.
And because I was self-conscious of what they would think of me, where I was at in my life, because I had no self-confidence. So I had to fabricate self-confidence or the image of self-confidence in other people by putting them at ease and making them feel like I'm this great person or I'm doing amazing right now. For me, being abrasive and being straightforward and being truthful and giving people what they need. Listen, no, I need to backtrack. I don't know what people need. I know what I need. So when I tell somebody something in a group or something like that, I'm saying it to myself too. And I preface this in groups. I was like, listen, I'm going to say what I'm about to say because I have been there. I have made the mistake.
I've heard you say that.
And I want you to know what I had to go through. Yeah. And I'm not trying to manipulate how you think.
Yeah.
I'm telling you straightforward what I think, and I don't care what you think. Because I don't have to fabricate self-confidence anymore.
Wow.
You know? And I think it's so important for me to remember how much I can manipulate by putting somebody at ease.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about putting people at ease and people pleasing anymore. You know, because if you're not taking for what I say, because I'm not malice.
Yeah.
I'm not threatening.
Yeah.
I may come off that way because my verbiage and my tone might be a little too abrasive. But like if you listen to what I say, I'm not that person. And I think addicts and alcoholics or humans, we take tone as verbiage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good fucking lesson. Like I was talking with remember Jordan?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Jordan and Bobby both celebrated a year at my home group.
Okay.
And I raised my hand after they spoke, and I was like, and I'm the secretary of that meeting, and I was like, it's really amazing because I went to IOP with both of these guys, and I hated both of them. Really? I did not like both of them.
Really?
And so it's really great to have them both up there because I have a lot of respect for them today. Yes. And I'll tell you why I hated them. Yeah. Because they spoke in class and they were intelligent and people liked what they had to say.
Got you.
And my ego said, you're taking my attention. I do not want you in the class anymore.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
That my ego told me who to like, when to like, how to like, and what they would like about me.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't care about you taking my tone the wrong way.
Yeah.
There's
Because
strength in that, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy because that you said abrasive, and that comes off like, you know, I'm like, yeah, he is abrasive as fuck, and that's a perfect word.
yeah.
And I feel that way too. I feel that energy from you so much in so many different things, and it just that conversation just made me realize, like, well, what does it trigger in me that
Yes.
pisses me off that
Yes.
it's that he's that way?
Yep.
Because my everything is the complete polar opposite. You know, it's like until I get to the point where I'm pushed, and then it's like,
Yeah.
what's that negative behavior?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's the fucking rage and abrasiveness is going to
Yeah.
come out in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all about those masks.
Well, I think that's why I followed it up with because I wanted to give an example of what other people instilled in me and what I let my ego drive.
Yeah.
I didn't like them because of what I saw inside of me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know. So, like, listen, and there's also people out there that are malice by their approach in talking to you.
Yes.
It takes a lot of insight to accept that they might be malice, but what they're saying is probably fucking spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen
yeah.
to the words and not the person behind
Well, you allow
Yeah.
it. You allow how it makes you feel, just their tone, to block you from what they might be giving you.
Absolute
You know,
defensiveness.
with you, there's been a few times through text and through talking. I remember one time you sent me a text that said bullshit, and in that moment, I did get defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, it didn't take too long until I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, because what you were saying was right.
Right.
What you were saying was right. And I don't know how other people feel when you talk in a meeting or you talk to them directly. But what I felt is I believe in you. I don't believe you're doing anything for selfish reasons when you tell it to me.
Sure.
So even though in the knee-jerk reaction, I disagree with you, I can't remember right now a time where you didn't call me out on something that you weren't spot on with. You know, I can't remember one time.
We also have to remember this. Like, where's the personal gain?
Yeah.
Where's the personal gain behind somebody telling me I'm full of shit?
Yeah.
Maybe I should look into that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I should avoid fucking being defensive and worrying about, because it's all ego. I want you to respect me. So if you say I'm talking bullshit, that means you don't respect what I have to say.
Oh.
So instantly my first thought is, fuck you, you're just being an asshole.
Yeah.
But like, where's the personal gain out of that?
Yeah.
I have to think about me and my actions and why I'm being called out. And that's a hard fucking place to be. I'm not good at it a lot of the time. Actually, no, I'm pretty good at it. But there are times where I need to remind myself, like, I am not the best. Even though my mind tells me I am. Yeah. Even though I walk into a room and think I'm smarter than everybody else in this room, that's my ego.
Yeah.
And the back end of my ego tells me I'm not good enough for everybody or anyone. So, like, both of those is my disease. The alcohol, the drugs, those aren't my disease. My ego is the only disease that keeps me away from my higher power. That keeps me going back to that drink or that drug. Because I can tell myself I'm not worth it, and then I can go use in seconds.
Yeah.
In seconds.
Yeah.
It's not the drug that's calling me. It's my ego telling me.
Yeah. You know, we tell ourselves lies in order to, do what we want for many reasons. That story you told about you calling me out with my father, you didn't really call me out. You just said something.
Sure.
But that was actually the first moment. I didn't even think about this until you said it at the beginning. With my relationship with my dad, I had been telling myself a story about it.
Yeah.
Where he is just the bad guy and I am the, guy who's just standing there minding my own business and he just hurt me. And what you said to me that day stopped that story in its tracks and kind of led me to start thinking about it, actually talking about it in my one-on-one therapy at our IOP program. So, yeah, I just have to thank you for that. I was just thinking about that.
Well,
It's
I think that's why group therapy is so amazing.
Yeah.
Because we do tell ourselves a story for our own good.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm thinking the truth about everything, I can get very depressed very quickly. This person thinks this way about me, and we hold a dialogue for everything. Yeah. What happened in the past, what's happening now, and what's happening in the future. We try and control everything. So like going into a group session and having 5 different people say, well, what about this? Well, what about that? And if you're open to it, then your whole world can change.
Absolutely.
And emotions are what block you from logic.
Oh, yeah.
And I run on emotions.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Or ran on emotions. I think a big part of what I do the last year, have done in the last year, is I run in logic. I have to. I have to defend my sobriety.
That's group setting. Yeah, that must be really cool.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
It really is.
It's so fun.
You know, I remember more what other patients said to me about certain situations more than what the therapists were saying to me.
Yeah.
It was people who broke through the wall I had up when I went to therapy. When I went to the IOP program, there was one of our friends, Laura. She told a story, and it wasn't the same as my story, but I saw her be vulnerable in that moment, and it was a hard story. And it was when I first got there, so I'm like kind of looking around, and I'm looking around looking for judgment, looking for how people are reacting. And I'm getting goosebumps right now, but when she talked about it, it brought me back to my childhood, and it got the ball rolling. And it wasn't a counselor or a therapist. It was one of the people that were with me fighting the fight. So the group therapy I miss it. I really miss it, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Well, as humans, like, how important is it to have connection in any capacity? What it is that evidence to prove your narrative wrong. Right? Because, like, that's how we feed the ego, right? We make up this story. We're the victim in our own trauma for positive reasons, for survival reasons. You know, we have this view, but for whatever reason, it clicks in that way in our brains. Now, every piece of evidence you gather on your own is now feeding this story. So it lives so strong in a neuroscientific way that, like, until we get actual evidence that's disproving what we're putting in.
Oh, it's called positive validation. You can only see what validates your emotions or your thought process at the time. Everything else is avoidance. You know, because I need to be right. There is a search. If I'm not right, I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm doing life wrong. And I'm weak.
There's so much beauty in the openness, because when you just have that openness and you're like, okay, I'm just going to be open to the fact that everything I think might not be 100% accurate, then it's like you're just allowing this influx of, like, a light bulb after light bulb. If you want it, it's like, oh, okay, wow, I can think about everything in my life completely different. And you're like, wow, what a beautiful thing to not have my own fucking stories, because they clearly haven't been working too well. It's amazing.
Yeah, you can see that everywhere. I mean, if you go on to any social media or look on any news channels or any politics sector, it's everybody is trying to defend their right to be right. Anything that goes against their narrative is the devil, and people live that way by gospel. So we can't even have conversations anymore about topics, because everybody needs to be right and somebody needs to be wrong. And I will defend it at any cost. Until you realize that you're powerless and you need to you just start listening to people. Just fucking be open to what they're saying.
So freeing to knowing that it's so freeing to not defend. You're like, oh, fuck, I don't have to hold this anymore.
Right.
Like, let me just be.
Let
me be open and wrong.
It's scary to do, though.
Yeah,
you know
it's so unnatural.
I feel like there's probably freedom on the other side, but doing that
at
first
the beginning,
time, like going back to like the narrative we tell ourselves. For me, I didn't just make up that lie. I told myself that story just a little bit different each time. So where it started here, it's kind of like the game of telephone in elementary school, where it was like telephone in my own head. You cut to like 2 years later, it's a completely different story, and one that is absolutely true. And you're not convincing me it's not true. Until, stuff like group therapy, where someone's like, wait, what about this?
Yeah.
And then it's like, wait, what?
Stop derailing
yeah.
this,
Oh my
please.
gosh, yeah, yeah,
Fuck.
100%.
Yeah, and I think that's why early sobriety in group settings is so hard for people because it destroys the makeup of their foundation of thought, of emotions, and the way they've lived their life.
Yeah.
If they're ready for it.
Oh, and if you've never seen
That's
it
it.
or felt
Yeah.
it, it's painful, man.
Yeah.
Any self growth, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it
If you're
comes
ready
to light,
for it.
you're like,
If you're ready
yeah,
for it.
Yeah.
yeah. Oof, the resistance can be crazy.
I'm happy we're talking about, I've turned this podcast, I've turned people onto this podcast, loved ones and friends who aren't in addiction. And, because I try to talk to them about it, and I'm like, just watch this podcast. You're going to see a lot of different people. You'll see a lot of different sides. Not to change the subject, but I've always wanted to ask you in front of people, like my family, let's say one of my family members that knows nothing about addiction was here.
Yeah.
What would you want them to know about addiction and recovery? I know it's so broad, but
That's so good.
It's nothing personal. I think family members have a tough time taking things to heart. Why can't he get this? Why can't she get this? Why don't they love me enough to want to put the effort into this? And it's not that deep. We have a thinking problem that we use drugs and alcohol for, and without the right tools, insight, and willingness, we don't know how to achieve fixing our thinking. And I think family members really want to hold on to the idea that they're the problem or that they can fix the addict or the alcoholic. And the reality is you have no choice in the matter. You have no say in what they do, how they think, how they act, or how they react. I think my father said it best this morning when he gave me my 1-year chip. He said, all you got to do is love them. I think love them with boundaries. Don't enable them. Don't give them money. Don't pay their bills. Don't do all that shit. But love them. If you need help, I am here for you. I'm not going to help you if you're using, but if you need help while you're using, I can help you. Love them. And I know it's so hard to not take it personal and be sad about it. But, God, your higher power, they have a plan. Some people pass away, and that's their path, unfortunately. You still don't have a say in that. I think family members get very sick through this process. When an addict alcoholic starts to get better, don't demand everything from them. Keep on loving them, but keep on living your life and let them figure it out. If they're still lying, that's part of the process. Don't get too involved in their recovery. And when they get it, if they pull out of it, they're going to be better than you've ever seen a human being be. I think people who step into recovery, who have used drugs and alcohol for a long time, are some of the best people I've ever met in my life, and I will always say that, because they understand how hard it is to go through so much pain, sadness, depression, that coming out on the other side is the most beautiful thing they've ever done in their life. And they feel that, they know that, and they want to be that new person for their family. So just love them.
That was the most amazing answer.
I can't.
That
Really
was
struggling
amazing
today.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
That was wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that. That was like that's exactly what I was looking for. I'm picturing one family member right now, and yeah, that was just perfect. That was amazing.
Yeah, you don't have to. Family doesn't have to have all the answers to feel a part of their life.
Yeah. it's hard for it not to be personal.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll say on the other side, you know, everything you said was a spot on. And, you know, my perspective in this room is always like, you know, I'm not far from anything, and I understand this stuff and I don't understand this stuff. But as human beings, like what can you do for yourself too? You know, what is your recovery? Because there is always recovery. We are all human, and whether you're choosing drugs and alcohol, or you're choosing avoidance, or you're choosing another thing, I don't know if I can be convinced that we all don't have something.
Yeah.
Agreed. You know, whatever, if it's a small mode or a little tick or a little this or something bigger, we all have something. So how can you look at yourself, take care of yourself, be in the rooms that you need to be recovering from the experience you're going through, and look at your own stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help and make it all benefit, and you'll be able to love in a healthy way that you can now cope and support their recovery from afar, you know?
Yeah.
Lead by example. We all need to do that, because then we all can, you know, be on that frequency together.
Yeah.
I think it's a hard reality for family members of addicts and alcoholics to understand that they're just as sick as the addict and alcoholic by going through this process. Mm-hmm. Find a support group. There's plenty of them out there for family members of addicts and alcoholics. Get a therapist who is well trained in drug abuse, that knows what the addict and alcoholic is going through. Because a lot of the time, when the addict and alcoholic is newly sober, the family can be the one to push them back into relapse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not by purpose, of course, but by you being sick and not ready to see them start growing in a more positive way, because you're not used to it, you know? And it's hard for people who deal with addicts and alcoholics, because the narrative is they're the ones that have the problem. They need to fix themselves. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not the problem.
Codependence no more. Read it.
Yeah. I mean, think what you want to think, or you can take some advice. Like, get some help for yourself, because you need it just as much as the addict alcoholic does.
Well, if those people are anything like my family, I took a lot of my loved ones hostage in my addiction. You know, I put them through some stuff.
100%.
You know,
man.
so yeah. I mean, they were, you know, good and bad with me through this journey.
Yeah.
You know, and there were some times where I don't even remember all the stuff I put them through.
Of course.
You know, so yeah, it's easy for us. You know, we have the obvious glaring problem. So it's kind of, some ways, kind of easier for us to be like, you know, I need therapy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. They're good. There are good support groups. So yeah.
All right, Steve. So we have some, you know, we got into some depth here. You know, is there anything else you want to touch on before I have a little, we're adding a little new segment to the cast today?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing real quick. One of the most important things I did this year that I resisted so many other times in recovery was do the 12 steps. I currently, 2 weeks in, I asked my sponsor to take me through the steps. The most important thing I've ever done in my life. That being said, I still have some amends to make. I have a few people that I need to make some serious financial amends to. It's very important for me to follow through with those financial amends and those verbal amends as well, because I owe two people like a significant amount of money, and I haven't spoken to them in years. And I just want it to be known that I did the steps fucking thorough, but I'm not finished until I make those amends. I can't stress it enough how important the steps are. There was this guy that I met in Florida, he said, going to meetings and not doing the steps is like taking a shit in your pants and changing your shirt. And it's so fucking true.
That's a good one.
So I can't stress that enough. It has brought me to a point of fixing my resentments towards people, understanding what my resentments are towards people before they even start, and fixing some of the flaws or character defects or parts inside of me that I don't like and I need to change. And working on those steps was the most important thing I did for my recovery.
It's awesome.
And still doing.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Nope, that's it. Okay.
I mean, it's I'll touch real quick. My perspective, I didn't, if you're involved with addiction or recovery or any trauma in your life, my thought about the 12 steps was this very narrow-minded, like, this is a part of the recovery for addicts and alcoholics, and I had no idea what it was, right? I had no idea what those 12 steps were. I thought they were so specified to fix and save. It's like a course, It's like if you go to cosmetology school, like, you're doing beauty stuff. In my head, that's like the 12 steps was just a thing for this.
Sure.
And I am doing the 12 steps myself right now, and I am at my amends. And it's just so mind-blowing and opening. When he was like, I think you should do it. I think you should do it. In my head, I'm like, yeah, whatever, like, okay, sure. And it's just something that anybody should look at and open up. It is a workbook for yourself, and not necessarily to fix, but to look at things that maybe you haven't seen or don't want to look at or don't think you need help with. We all need help with this stuff.
Sure.
And it breeds a healthier existence, and it's so beautiful, and I'm so grateful, and not fucking easy, but so grateful that I've got to know what it is first, period, and then be able to experience it. And it's just like, it's what a powerful friggin' tool. It makes sense why it's been around for so long.
Absolutely.
And,
the steps for me, it just reminded me of, like, after you take a hot shower, the bathroom mirror being fogged. Admitting, you know what I mean, that I was powerless. The first 3 steps, and especially the biggest moment for me was when I became willing. And something switched, and I feel like you're just wiping that mirror.
Yeah.
The steps are helping me actually see myself. Sure. Not who I want people to think I am, not who I want to be, not the illusions I built up about myself, not even the way I've just degraded myself, and none of that. It's who I really am, and once you see yourself, then you can start the work, and like, that's pretty much what the steps, like, that, what they remind me of.
It's a great analogy. I love that.
Yeah. See them all laid out. You're like, holy fuck. And then they start all clicking and making sense. You're like, oh.
With you doing the steps, let me know how that goes, because it was in my head before, too. I'm like, why don't other people, like, because, people I know, like, we're all human, and we all have the same affliction of being human.
Oh, yeah.
The same stuff. And I've been wondering, why don't people who maybe aren't addicts or alcoholics do the steps? Because everybody can benefit.
Oh,
I would look
absolutely.
Forward to hearing,
I'll speak more someday on my personal experience, but I mean, I'm such an avid, like, I think one of my biggest purposes in life is to unravel myself and learn and grow, and that's it. And because as painful as your own personal journey is at times, or as avoidant as you are and you think it's all good and fine, once you start to see and understand, it's like a research project for yourself. And in the end, it's just you see the growth whether you want to or not. It's really beautiful in the end when you can see something about yourself and plug it all in like this little science project, and And of course, there's balance of like not overdoing that. You know, I definitely have that. Like, I need to be fixed. I need to get to this place, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, just to be able to see it laid out, you have so much more openness and opportunity for yourself. Yeah, it's just like you kind of, you can just like open the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, Steve, we have, to end this podcast today, we have therapy, but make it funny. Rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay? No thinking.
Okay.
Answer fast.
Okay.
Laugh after.
Okay.
Realize later.
Okay.
All right? So,
like that.
you know, some of these ChatGPT help me, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Some of them just funny. So let's go for it. Answer fast. See what you got. Okay. What's a habit you call part of your personality to avoid fixing?
What's a habit, part of your personality you avoid fixing?
To avoid fixing.
You call it a part of your personality because you don't want to fix it.
Smiling. Smiling, pretending things are okay.
Yeah. Like it.
That was a
some
tough-
of these are hard.
That was
It's fine.
that was a tough first one.
If your brain had a loading screen, what would it say?
That's so hard.
Yeah. Come back in 2 minutes.
If your life was a reality show, what would it be canceled for?
Oh, if it was a reality, I would. I'm a wild man when I use, and probably get naked.
Okay. If your inner child had a job, what would it be?
Oh, geez. And a child had a job, like a real job.
Yeah, anything, whatever you think.
He would want to be a hockey player.
Ooh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
What emotional button gets pushed the fastest?
Oh. When I feel disrespected. Yeah.
Felt that.
Yeah.
Would you rather cry in the car or cry in the shower?
Oh. Car, because I've done it many times. Yeah.
What's something you're shockingly bad at for your age?
Ugh. I mean, money management.
There you go. Good one. What song ruins you, but you still play it?
I don't have too many like that.
I feel like it's
I
that
don't-
song Ophelia.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I feel really connected to Olivia Rodrigo, so it's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
awesome.
good.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, so like driver's license is pretty good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Such a cute song.
Shout out. Let's
Shout
get
out.
this to her. Bring us on. We got a lot to talk about. If you were cursed to repeat one sentence forever, what would it be?
I am enough. I think it's such a corny phrase, but it's like really good.
It's so
but
true.
I
The
feel,
corniest ones
I
of it,
feel
yeah.
really,
I get you.
I feel really fucking awkward saying it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Erin just gave me a sweatshirt that says "You are enough," so I guess I have to face
Yeah.
my fears about that one.
No, I get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of gives this like, I mean, it's the corny stuff. It's all the truest
Even by
stuff.
yourself,
Yeah.
you feel uncomfortable saying it? Like if no one was there.
Yes, 100%.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Get that. Okay. All right. To our final three, the
Yeah.
best yet. Would you rather have fingers as long as hot dogs or legs as short as hot dogs?
Oh,
I'm picturing
fingers,
both.
fingers. Yeah, you play guitar pretty good.
Would you rather hiccup every time you lie or burp every time you're nervous?
I think hiccup every time I lie. I'd like a tell. Yeah, that's cool.
Make life easier.
You make life easier. Yeah.
Okay. Which emoji represents your soul today? And show us
Oh,
on your face.
oh, geez. Is there like a like with the big ass eyes and something.
There is.
I
They actually look pretty good.
Yeah. I hate putting my because I'm so self-conscious about my teeth.
Yeah.
Over so many years of using meth, like my teeth are so messed up. But like I've been thinking about this so much more lately because it's like I try and be professional, but I always wonder what are people thinking about my teeth while I'm talking to them, you know, because I think that way about other people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I'm really on a certain cloud right now. You know, I woke up this morning and I was just kind of leading up to this. I thought there was going to be a lot more excitement, and there was, you know, what it felt which I think is a good thing. It felt content and it felt right, and it wasn't this overjoy buildup. It was just like I'm just going through the days and leading up to this. And then this morning it really hit me. Everybody was there and sharing, and Carlos brought me up to share, and it was at my home group. And yeah, it's just it's very surreal and not really real. Not really surreal.
Yeah.
So there's this duality of like it happened, I made it happen, it's real, but like, all right, what am I doing for the rest of the day? You know?
It's nice. That's regulation,
Right.
in your system, not this extreme low or high.
Yeah, and I think my sponsor said it today, this morning to me at the end of our conversation. He's like, all right, same shit tomorrow.
I love it.
You know?
I love it.
Same shit tomorrow. Just because you're sober today. And I hear it a lot in meetings. Like, you see a lot of 1 years. You don't see a lot of 2 years.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a good point for so many different levels, because I think a lot of people like that relapse in their first year. After their first year, it's, look, I've done this. I can do it again.
Yeah.
You know, and also a lot of people take a back seat on what they've been doing the year because they got that milestone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm here.
The accomplishment.
I got it.
Yeah.
Now I can let life take over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I said it, I'll say it again, the healthy fear of never wanting to use, like I still go to a meeting almost every day, a year sober.
Yeah.
And one, because I enjoy them, but two, I'm scared as fuck to go back out.
Yeah.
I'm scared to change what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I don't, nobody, not my kids, not my partner, not my family, not my friends are going to get in front of my recovery.
So,
You know, not my job, not anything. My recovery comes first. When recovery calls, I drop everything and do it.
I like that.
And I have to keep that alive, that fire inside of me.
Absolutely.
You know, I've said before that I lose that fire a lot of the time. And that's when I'm sideswiped with, well, you can use one night.
Yeah.
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 And I can believe a thought very quickly without outside influence.
Absolutely.
Without running something by somebody, without calling myself out.
Yeah. Left to our own devices, our brains just go down that rabbit hole. For
sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Cheers to another minute.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you guys.
Love
Appreciate you
Thank
both
you.
being a
Congratulations.
part of my life. You know, this is everybody that's a part of my life. I could not have done it without them. And I could not have done recovery without the both of you. I need everything that's happened this last year to get to where I am. All the hard, all the good, all the friends that I had to put boundaries up against, all the family members I've had to put boundaries up against, everything I did perfect for me.
Yes.
And not for anybody else. And this is a very selfish program. Put yourself first after your recovery, and everything else falls into place. It's that fucking simple. Stop overthinking it.
I love it.
Keep it simple, stupid.
That's right.
Well, thanks for doing this with me, CJ.
Hey, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. This is. I feel like I've learned so much.
So
and the
great.
best thing is I can go back to it because it's recorded and it's on a podcast. So thank you for having me, guys.
And we'll have
This is
CJ
awesome.
on for in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
right?
in a couple weeks.
2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's your
Awesome.
warning.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.